So the big topic today is still Tron and this ecosystem and these meme coins. This thing is absolutely ripping at the moment. So today we're going to cover Tron again. I'm going to show you some big targets. I'm going to tell you why I think it's dangerous to try and short this thing in the current conditions that we are in. I'm going to give you some levels if you want to short it. I'm going to give you some levels if you are looking for longs. Then we've got updates for you guys on a couple of trades that we've given out the last couple of days. And we're talking about a couple of new ones. Is WIF going to be a nice little long for us? Is Floki potentially teeing up for us? So there's a lot going on here as usual, lots to talk about. Let's get right into this. Remember, hit the like, smash the subscribe, smash the bell. No need to say why. You can see he's angry today. Look at him. He's angry. And another reason to actually smash the like. There's the legend. Look at him. He's wearing his Solana cap. He's bringing you guys a render setup. So hang around. He's got a render setup. I'm not sure if it's ready to go, but he's locked and loaded here and he's going to give it to us. And just stick around. So tons coming for you guys. Banter bubbles looking nice, actually, you know, considering we've had a bit of a chop in the last couple of hours, but looking decent. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has come to the party. And this is why we're talking about 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Today. Is it time to look for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 shorts? Is it time to look for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 shorts? I wonder. I've got the chart. I'm going to tell you why the stupid shitcoin is pumping, and I'm going to tell you why I think there's a potential short on that one. 𝗬𝗦𝗬𝗑, I'm covering for you guys. This thing, there's big things happening on 𝗬𝗦𝗬𝗑. This thing, you can't ignore this. This thing is getting locked and loaded into my portfolio. I think there's some big targets for 𝗬𝗦𝗬𝗑 coming. So that is one that we are talking about. Phantom finally breaking horizontal. That one is finally starting to print a little bit of handbag money for us. So hopefully you guys are still sitting in Phantom. And then Tron, obviously 5.6% up today, a little bit slower than yesterday, but nonetheless, it's moving. Let's look at BTC. Let's see what these guys just did to us. So you might wonder why there is a strange candle. Well, if you've been in crypto long enough, you would have noticed these type of candles, they chop you up all the time. But today, in particular, there was a jobs revision, and that resulted in a little bit of volatility there when that news came out. And anyone who was running very tight stops would have been chopped up here with BTC. Look at this little candle, lots of indecision there at the moment. But what am I looking for now? So the long we took on BTC from yesterday, that is still running, that is still active. I believe Ray is also sitting in his long still and looking for higher. So my target at the moment, you are still long. Yes, there we go. My target at the moment for this one, we're just looking for this little trend to the upside. So resistance for me, if we do get a push now, resistance 60,800. That is what I'm watching. That is a nice little TP area for us. And then support that you can watch. You can watch today's low. You can watch that dump low that they gave us. So this is a nice little marker here, 58,805, nice little region. And then a little bit lower down, we've still got the big zone that we were talking about yesterday. So for me, this is a region where you start sniffing around. Anywhere in this region from 58,100 down to 57,500, I would expect some kind of nice move out of BTC. You can see I've got multiple levels of confluence here. I've got an anchored VWAP. I've got a 382. I've got a rising trend. I've got the horizontals. So for me, this region here, nice big area. If we do get some kind of meltdown, that is where we're going to look to reload some potential longs. But that is my current game plan. Here is the trade on Prime XBT. So not much has changed. You can see I've now brought up a half stop underneath, just underneath that low there. So we're going to cut. If that starts losing that low, it's going to cut a little bit more, and then we're going to reassess. We'll see where we are. We'll see what type of levels we start hitting there on BTC. But right now, if we can push to our target, would be a nice little trade there. And it's been 24 hours. I mean, it's been like watching paint dry, some of these trades at the moment. In fact, I'm starting to feel like this dude. And I mean, we'll talk about this guy again. But who else is feeling like this dude? I mean, this is an old tweet, but sometimes when you're getting chopped up like this, it can be very frustrating. And, you know, here we go. 24 hours later, this thing has budged, you know, a couple of percent. It's been a little bit painful. Now, let's talk about this. Liquidations. Did you notice? Anybody get liquidated? Anybody get smashed around? Well, in the past 24 hours, they nailed 39,000 of us. Okay, got smashed. Total liquidations, 117 million. That would be longs and short, just getting chopped up, you know, regular chop these days. And what was this jobs thing all about that I was telling you? So over the last couple of weeks, there's been murmurs and talk that they had to readjust, or they had to adjust their jobs report. They had to put in a downward revision, the biggest one in 15 years. Okay, and there were fears that they were going to revise up to 1 million jobs. And as it turned out, they weren't far off. They did 818,000. Okay, so there was a pretty decent sized revision here. But I would think by the time we got here today, most of this was actually priced in. And that just gave us a little bit of volatility in the market. You can see the S&P doesn't seem to care too much. It was almost like they were expecting this, and it was priced in. So right now, so far, okay, it's early days in the market today. And you can see we do have a slight rejection candle here on the daily. But so far, the S&P is green today. So no alarm bells just yet. But the same levels as yesterday. If we are going to fall over here, 5,450, little support zone there for me. And that is maybe a nice little bounce zone, maybe an area you can look for some longs on Prime XBT as well, or one of those on the S&P 500. So that is my next sort of zone that I'd be interested for a potential long there on that S&P. So no real changes there on that. And then who actually cares about Mt. Gox anymore? I mean, we used to talk about this stuff, the Germans, Mt. Gox, all that fun, but nobody gives a shit anymore. And these guys moved another 13,000 BTC, and these tweets just sort of flow by. Nothing really happens. Nobody seems to care, but the information is here, and they've got 50,000 BTC less. So they had 140,000 over a month ago. They've gradually been selling, and it's pretty decent result then that BTC is still sitting where it is at the moment. So Mt. Gox, it's a thing, but we're getting rid of it. We're tired of Mt. Gox. We're done. We'll give them that. They can have that as a gift. Okay, liquidation areas, and why are these levels interesting to me on the 4 hour? Well, this is a heat map. Now, I normally use the liquidation map, but I thought today, let's just look at the heat map here for you guys. And you can see nice big cluster for us, anything from say 59,900 up to about 60,200. That to the upside ties in pretty nicely with this chart. You can see that's a nice little trend line, nice little liquidation area there if they want to chase guys higher up. And then to the downside, nice little band. This looks nice. 59K looks decent. But be careful at 58.5. There's a big level there, 58.5. Let's see. What does that look like on the chart? Yes, that's nice. Okay, that is just above this little 618. Okay, so just above this region here. And that would make sense. That would give us a nice little cute 618 bounce there on BTC. So liquidations taken care of. 24-hour plan taken care of. And, it's time for some pumpage. And today I made a commitment to you guys. I'm not talking about ETH, and I'm not talking about Solana. You will not see those charts today. And yesterday, apologies to you guys. You wanted Brett and you wanted CRV. You left the comments in the chat after the show of the tokens you wanted. And I was waffling on, and 50 minutes later, I forgot to talk about Brett and CRV. So I've got Brett and CRV for you guys today as well. And Ray is going to make sure that I remember to cover these charts for you guys. Okay, so no ETH today because I'm so tired of being an ETH bro. But let's start with some dominance. So this gives us our little guide on these altcoins, and this is why these alts are nice and green on Banter Bubbles today. You can see dominance on the 4 hour, we're printing lower highs. Okay, so long may this continue. As long as we are printing lower highs, for me, dominance is falling over. It's unleashing some of these altcoins for us. BTC remaining flat or pushing higher, that's great. If dominance is falling over for us, then we know our alts are holding their levels. We know that these alts might start finding new levels and things like that. For example, AVAX. Now, we were looking at an AVAX little move yesterday, and quite interesting. I mean, they had $200 million of unlocks. Okay, that's a ton of pressure on AVAX. But then there was some bullish news, some gaming side of things, and fundamentally there's murmurs again about AVAX, and it gave us a nice little move yesterday. So if you guys were playing this game yesterday, you could see AVAX was pulling back onto a 382 yesterday after the initial break. We've now pumped into a resistance zone. So this is why I highlight these areas for you guys. I want you guys to see where these take profit zones are, where these areas are that you take profits, that you de-risk and do these types of things. And here is AVAX. You can see typical rejection off a 382 fib. This is 23.3, and this was one of our TP targets. So right now, looking for a little bit of action here from AVAX. I would expect, okay, it would make sense to get some kind of pullback and retest some kind of support. But if you are in AVAX at the moment, there's no new trade now. If you are sitting in AVAX, you can tighten up your stops, maybe take something off the table here. We do have upside targets for you, 25 and a little bit higher, 26.9. So those are your targets. There's no new trades now. If you're looking for a new trade on AVAX, I can give you an entry idea. And what you can do there is take a fib from the lows to the highs. You just want to get, let's get the absolute low in there of that move there. So I've taken the low on the Friday the 16th, and I just want to highlight my 382 and my 618. I want to see where is their confluence, where does this tie in, and where can I get a potential bullish entry. So the reason AVAX is now bullish, we've broken horizontals, we've broken big levels, and that tells us if the move is going to continue, more often than not, you're going to get a bounce on a 382, or you're going to get a bounce on a 618 to continue the uptrend, to continue the move. And that is why you pull the fib from the low to the high. And you just want to identify where are your nice tight little regions. So for me, 22.1, that's a nice area. So if you are already long AVAX, you could put your stop under 22, for example, just below 22, because we can see that this is a potential bounce area. If there is weakness, that is a potential zone where you get a bounce out of AVAX. And then a little bit lower down, look how nice this is. We've got the rising trend as well, and the 618 fib. So 21.2, that is your next bullish buy zone there for AVAX. So no new trade here. Let this thing play out now. You at your TP zone, play it safe. But typically, these are the areas where you are going to be looking for some kind of bounces there. And while we're talking AVAX, if AVAX is going to turn bullish, there's a couple of things you do. You guys in the chats know exactly the first thing you do when AVAX turns bullish. In fact, this is a test. Let me know. Let me know in the chats right now. Don't answer this, Ray. Don't answer this. And I haven't even done it. So let me know. The first thing you do when AVAX turns bullish, this is a test. And I'm waiting for it to come in. Ray, if you find the correct person, we got to give them a giveaway of some sorts. We got to give them something. The first one to answer that correctly, Cunning George, is the winner. Cunning George.
Maybe you just send him some cards.
So when AVAX turns bullish, Cunning George knows what to do. Okay, he nailed it. And he got it, so he's grabbing some cock. And remember, that's the first meme coin on AVAX. And what else you can do when AVAX turns bullish is also look at a gaming play. Now, Beam is a nice little project that we sometimes keep our eyes on. And Beam is looking interesting here on the daily. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. This is going to be in my portfolio that I'm putting together for the Sniper Club. And Beam is one of my favorites. So watching this one at the moment. And you can see we've got some nice lows here, 0.13. Nice little spot buy here for me. You know, I like this little area down here. And if the market is going to turn bullish, we expect this thing to start churning up. So a little spot buy here for me on Beam. I like this little area. There's a couple of upside targets. Naturally, the 50-day MA at 0.0155 and 0.019. So we're going to be watching those regions over there for potential upside targets. But for me, nice little spot portfolio, gaming token to have. Beam, quite like this one. Are you a Beam fan?
Yes. Yeah. It's one of the ones that's on Hustle's list as a go-to long-term token for spot.
So in Sniper Club, Bruce is also building his portfolio. I'm building mine. Sheldon's building his. We got Chaos putting one together. We got Kerwin, our top researcher in the Sniper Club, putting a little portfolio together. And then we're also going to have a Sniper Club portfolio that we're going to start playing with. So Beam, I'm loving Beam. And we're going to put that together. If you want to know more and you want to know what we are buying, you can obviously get involved in Sniper Club there with us. And there is a link in the description. Now, let's talk about Phantom. Phantom on the daily, churning, finally. And this thing has been hanging on by a thread and has been incredibly frustrating for me. I looked like I was going to round trip this thing a couple of times. So update on Phantom, we are now pushing into our first TP zone. And in fact, I actually want to lower this TP box because while we've been waiting, the 50-day MA has actually moved down a little bit. So we're just going to drop this TP box because the TP zone now for Phantom is actually going to be a little push into this 50-day moving average. So on the daily chart, if you're playing this game, 0.426 is going to be your first little TP area that you just want to be watching for Phantom. And again, you're going to track this rising trend. You can see we've got this rising channel here on Phantom. If we start losing this channel, then we're most likely going to push down and start moving to our retest areas, our 382s, our 618s, and things like that. But right now, bullish things happening on Phantom, and this thing is grinding. So I have zoomed in here for you guys if you want to have a crack at a bit of Phantom. And you can see the risk reward is getting a little bit tighter now. And it was a lot better yesterday. Hopefully some of you guys got some of these moves. I think we were looking at it here yesterday on this little pullback, this little zone there. And nice little bounce. That was a horizontal and trend retest there on Phantom. Nice little push. And today we gave some areas in Sniper Club. We were looking at a 382. And we got that little 382 bounce there on the 1 hour. And now finally, Phantom has broken the horizontal. Okay, so you've got your new support at the moment, 0.40, and you've got your first upside target, little bit to go. Okay, so we're nearly there with Phantom. So another 4 or 5%, I would expect. If things remain bullish, we're going to push into this 50-day moving average. So let's see how that goes. If you are sitting in Phantom, your support you can work with now, call it 0.4. Okay, watch that as support. And I've got this trade open still in WeX. Here it is. And you can see my Phantom's finally turning a little bit better. Okay, we're on handbag money here. We're not at the next level. We're not at watch money. We're on handbag money at the moment. So let this thing keep climbing. Let's see how that goes. And you can start bringing your stops to just under 0.4 if you want to protect some of your capital. You can see I've got a stop loss here at the moment to cut a portion of it at 0.388. So we're going to watch BTC. We're going to see how that plays out. And naturally, if BTC remains bullish, then we can remain bullish on a lot of these altcoins. But just look out for Phantom a little bit higher up. We're watching this 50-day MA. So that is just under this 428 region. Call it 426. Nice little area. And then the other banger that we got there is 𝗪𝗡𝗡. And we were looking at this one yesterday. So hopefully some of you guys got this. And 𝗪𝗡𝗡, it's funny. I showed Bruce this chart just now. It was pushing into the trend and Bruce's eyes lit up. And look at this thing. It's now pumping off the trend. And you can see why. Sometimes we keep it super simple. And we can just trade things like trends as well if we're looking for moves. So 𝗪𝗡𝗡 is now ticking along. And the entries that we gave you guys yesterday, 22.5. That was a 236 little retrace there for us at the time. And then we had another level at 22.1. So keeping it relatively simple here for 𝗪𝗡𝗡. And what you can do now, if you're trying to catch a little bit of this, now this thing is obviously motored on. So now you've got to resort to things like trend breaks and stuff like that. So you need to play a little bit safe here now. Okay, so AVAX, what we can give you is some kind of support to play with. You can see our trend lows there where we've just dipped from, or we've just taken off from that trend. So you can watch this region, 23.06. And then today's low, naturally. If we start losing today's low, that was the dump from earlier, 22.8, then things start looking sad, because then ultimately 𝗪𝗡𝗡 is losing a trend. 𝗪𝗡𝗡 is starting to fall over and potentially turn bearish. So that's why these rising trends are so important to us when we are trying to grow a position or start moving it higher. We track those rising trends. When we start losing those trends, it gives you a sign. It tells you there's potentially a bigger move to the downside coming, and then you got to start looking at levels lower down. So naturally, track a trend when you are in a long, and likewise when you are in a short. So let's see how that goes. But you can see if we lose that trend, then maybe it's time to start bailing a little bit on 𝗪𝗡𝗡𝗏. Now, Rune, okay, this thing has been absolute pain waiting for this short to play out. And when did we give this short? I think we gave this one on somewhere around the 18th of August. The 17th of August, we were looking at it, and we've had multiple pumps into it, but I think it could get exciting now. Okay, so if you're still sitting in the Rune short, there's a moment here. Okay, you can see Rune is in a rising trend at the moment, and right now, if it starts losing this rising trend, unfortunately, I would expect it's going to happen with weakness on Bitcoin as well and the market. But if it starts losing that trend, that is going to give you the opportunity to add to your short position and start sending this one lower. So right now, Rune is technically on a trend, okay, where it could bounce. You've just seen 𝗪𝗡𝗡𝗏 bouncing off a trend. What I'm looking for, because I'm sitting in that Rune head short that I've shown you guys yesterday, if we lose that rising trend, then I'm going to add to that position, and we're going to look to send Rune a little bit lower with a target for me around about 3.4. We're going to be watching. So that is still in play. If you guys managed to hold on to this one, let's see how that plays out. But sometimes, these things take time. It's like a fine wine. I mean, 18th of August, 3-4 days. No, this was way before, though. This must have been before Bruce. 17th of August, potentially, we started this thing. So, yeah, it's been a while. It's been 4 or 5 days. Okay, before we get into Tron, let's just talk about 𝗪𝗡𝗡𝗏. I mean, this thing is an absolute gun. at the moment. And I see Cameron's talking about banana gun, and I'm talking about Aave. It's absolute gun if you like DeFi and things like that. And Hitesh is saying Aave is the best fundamental trade right now. Okay, now he's given you tons of reasons here. You can follow him on Twitter. He's given you a whole thread. Okay, he's done his work as to why he thinks this is a massive trade. There's a lot of stats in here, and just take a look. It's actually a good little thread on Aave if you guys are looking to understand what it's about and what is going on and why I'm interested in it. Take a look. So his @ is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So it's not complicated at all. Couldn't he just call himself Jeff or something? So there he is, Hitesh, and a nice little tweet there for you guys. And then Emperor Osmo says, I know many of you are probably going to start looking for the next Aave. Okay, he's saying there is no next Aave. Look at this. Aave's total active loans are larger than the other 10. Okay, look at this. Look at the size of this thing. Okay, so this is the number one active lender at the moment. Hello, sir. Can I help you there, sir? Do you like Aave?
I remember it was called a shitcoin, and look at where we are now.
You know, bull market vibes. Hey, Aave, I think it's a banger. I think this thing's a banger. Okay, let's look at the chart now. Leverage is one thing, margin is one thing, but having a decent banger in your spot portfolio, it makes sense, okay? And if you agree with Hitesh's reasoning, if you like all the activity in Aave at the moment, maybe this is something you want to add to your DeFi portfolio. So if you're growing your own portfolio, you're naturally going to have, you naturally things like layer ones. So you're going to pick like ETH or Sol or NEAR or one of those layer ones. Then you're going to have things like real world assets. What are you going to do? You're going to do Ondo, maybe this new one, OM, maybe Pendle. Then you're going to have DeFi plays. Okay, so maybe Aave is something you want to look at on your DeFi side of things. So, you know, we want to pick a couple of gaming, couple of AI, couple of real RWAs and DeFi. So for me, Aave could be a nice little DeFi play. If you look at the chart on the weekly, you can see it's got a lot of work to do. Okay, it's got a lot of levels that it can still attack. But right now, what is interesting to me is we have broken back into this range that we have seen, we last saw about 2 years ago. This is March 2022, and we are finally back into this region. So we had a little fake out here at the time. Now we are back into this area. So big support here for me on Aave 112. So any pullbacks here, we're looking for big bounces here on Aave, and then upside targets 153. That looks inevitable if things remain bullish. And then for me, a big one here, 250, 240, 250, somewhere in that region. That's a huge level. Look at these weeklies up here clustered in that zone. So that is a nice area of interest for me as a potential target. So that's nearly a 2x from where we are currently, and then anything can happen after that. Okay, so if Aave starts blowing this 250, you can see we've got big targets up here. We're looking at 450, and we won't go higher, but that is you get the picture, and you get why this makes sense to me. Nice little potential DeFi play, and that could actually work out with a slightly higher risk one, Curve, okay, which we're going to talk about just now. It's one of your tokens that you asked me to look at yesterday that I forgot about, and we'll bring in some Curve. I've got it loaded up at the back here, and we'll tackle that one shortly. Now, who's ready for some more Tron action? I see James says, what does James say here? He's like, fuck gaming, man. He said, I'm not messing with that anymore. Totally ruined my portfolio. But aren't you in it for the tech? I think it's fair. Balanced portfolio. I think you got to have a little bit of everything, because when things normalize, when everyone realizes all these Sol memes are absolute dog shit and all these Tron memes that I'm going to show you about are absolute dog shit, I think normal things will start moving again. I think it's literally just a matter of time. Retail interest in these tokens is at its bare minimum, quite frankly, and the only thing sort of floating around has been the memes. But when these guys come back, I think, James, I think you're going to be surprised. Okay, let's talk Tron. And Johnny says, Tron chain now the number one chain in revenue in all of crypto. Okay, I don't know how this is possible. I don't know how this magic happened here from Justin's son, but he's doing his thing. And revenue in the last 24 hours on Tron, $1.05 million. Okay, they took out Pump.Fun. They took out ETH. You can see that they took out Sol, and this thing is cooking. Okay, we know that, and all the influencers talking about it. It's all over Twitter, and it's getting hyped everywhere. Now, is this thing sustainable? Is there going to be a little bit more action? And Stevenification says, build better shit. Is he in it for the tech? What's he in it? And Tab says, why is everyone lazy on the likes? This is an excellent question. Don't forget, I brought the legend out of Sniper Club. He's bringing you render. Okay, he's bringing you a setup. Okay, the money maker is on, and he needs his likes. He even put on his soul hat. Look at this man; he's got his soul hat on, and he's ready to give you guys some action. Okay, let's go. What is this guy saying? Yeah, this is another simple name. Can't he just call himself John? This guy is me 696969, and Tron Cycle may be the most hated rally, but I really think it's here to stay. Okay, fair point. Okay, if this guy can get this stuff together, this Tron can actually start ripping. So he says Justin's son is dev. He's doing something. Tron is the chain where most of the money laundering from the UAE happens. You'd be surprised. This is just another way for them to wash their money. Okay, so maybe the man's got a point, and they obviously or naturally trying to pump this market by launching this shit. Okay, Sun Pump. And now, those of you that were involved in pump.fun and the Soul memes, you can see what happens. You go in, you try and trade 99 coins, 98 send you to absolute zero. If you get lucky, you do a 10x on one of them, and you come out with maybe an 80% loss. And I was just looking at some of these on Sun Pump, and I was buying a few of these today. So what you do here, if you want to get involved in this absolute dog shit, okay, you get a TronLink wallet. You can see I've got the TronLink wallet. It's an extension. You send Tron to that wallet, and then you connect it to Sun Pump, and you can buy this stuff. Now, this stuff is insanely dangerous, okay? And I was looking at some of these charts, and you can see this is now before they actually launch. You get these little buys here before it hits that bonding curve, that 100%. And you can see some of these charts look absolutely abysmal. But this one is actually not so bad. So you can click through these things. But my basic sentiment here is that tons of these are just absolute rugs. And they're here designed to send people to zero. So be careful. Because I think when people see the absolute dog shit that is going on here at the moment, then they might start getting a little bit skeptical. And maybe they're not going to chase this as hard as they're going to chase or as they did chase some of the Soul memes. Now, Ray and Bruce, I'm buying dog shit. Each pick
no
one.
way. Oh man!
Be out of that.
If anything, I'll put $1 in the McDonald's one or the Donald Duck.
In McDonald's. Okay. Where's McDonald's gone? Yeah, here it is. Where's the McDonald's gone? It just disappeared. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy two of these.
It's already a Red Bull.
Okay, Bruce, what am I buying? Look at the pictures.
I kind of like the duck.
The duck.
Yeah, the duck.
Let's go. 𝗔𝗢𝗪 duck. It's red. It looks like a massive rug. Let's buy it.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
I'm gonna buy 100 Tron here.
𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. Okay, duck choker.
Okay,
Wow.
locked in.
I'm
Bought
smoking a
that
joint
dog
for
shit.
you.
Okay,
Oh
let's
my
see what else. Ray, you got to choose one, bro. Oh yeah, Teletubbies. This is good.
Lambo. Is that a Lambo? What's
This
that
is good,
car?
bro.
Let's see.
This Teletubbies.
Oh my God.
I'm buying this, bro. I'm buying this. Okay, and then look, this one's pumping. Look at this. Okay,
Oh, there
I'm
we
buying
go.
this. It's a sure thing. I mean, it's I believe that the fundamentals of this one are amazing. I'm in this one definitely for the tech. Loving this. Okay, Ray, what did you say? What did you say?
They're going crazy. Was there a car? What's that car? Yeah, what is that?
It looks like a base model Lambo. Fuck, that's a buy. Okay, wait, I'm buying this.
Oh, it's like a Toyota
Look
Camry
at this
piece of
car,
shit.
zero.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in this one for the tech. I like this one. Okay, I'm buying this base Lambo here. So guys, if you're wondering why Tron is pumping, okay, this is one of the reasons. Okay, so this is like, I don't know. This is like absolute degeneracy level of gambling here with what is going on. I mean, these things are 5K market caps, all these types of things. Some of them go to 1 million, okay, but it's going to be 1 in 10,000 might go to 1 million. And, that's the game you're playing. So if you like getting rugged, okay, you know what to do. And Val says it's like playing slots. Val, you're 100% right.
But it's not financial advice. Not financial
It's
advice. Just
definitely
entertainment.
not financial advice. Okay, so Ray, I got you the car. Bruce, we bought the duck,
Thank you.
and then I bought
There we
the
go.
sun was nice. Okay, so if you guys want degeneracy, you're wondering why Tron is doing this, okay, that is why. Okay, it's as simple as that. And now, let's talk about clever things here. Now, if you want to short Tron, okay, you are not the only person thinking about it. Everyone is starting to think about it. Now, everyone's talking on their WhatsApp groups. Oh, we're going to catch the short. And I just want to show you guys this Tron weekly chart. Okay, look at this thing. Okay, this thing is just continuously ground up and up and up. Why? Because there's outside forces here. There's other things. So, yeah, you shorting it, but you shorting it on 3-minute candles, right? So just be careful. Okay, this is what I want to say. If you're teeing up a short on Tron, you are definitely not the first to come up with that idea. You are in the queue of millions, especially on Twitter and those type of things. And I think Justin Sun, the man behind Tron, is well aware that everybody would love to short Tron and send it to zero. So remember, this guy's got bags. He literally prints USDT for fun. Okay, literally, when he wants to, he just prints his USDT. He can go and buy Tron all day long. Okay, he can keep the price up all day long. So I would recommend not shorting this thing. Okay, or short it. And you know, I'm going to give you the options. I'm going to tell you what to do. And here's the weekly. Okay, so let's just look at the weekly. If you are going to move into a short zone on Tron, that area for me is a little bit higher. We need sort of, what do we call it? We need a final little, a little top. We need a nice little pump, okay, like a blow off top. We need a big push into that area and then a massive rejection candle, okay? That can still happen. So look out for a move into 0.17 to 0.18. Okay, look out for a move in there. If you're planning a short, you can see why. This is the all-time highs. This is weekly resistance area. This is the weekly highs. Okay, so if something's going to top out, it generally tops out in a region like that, or a little fake out, and then they send that one lower. So there is a potential short brewing from that perspective. Okay, personally, I don't know. I would be very careful. You're trying to fight against somebody that's printing his own USDT. Okay, he can buy his stuff all day long. And if you want to look at it on a smaller time frame, well, I've built this thing for you guys now today. And you can see what is going on. There's going to be long and short options here for you. Now, this just depends on your bias. So right now, I've put this together. This is Tron now on the 15 minutes. Now, we know this thing can pump. We know lots of people are trying to short it. So we need to understand if everybody is trying to short it, what can typically happen. If this thing turns moderately bullish again, how do you exit your short position when you're underwater? You have to buy the position back. Okay, and that creates a cascading effect and a big, thick green candle sending these things higher. So just exercise caution with these types of scenarios. I'm sure when the minute the people started seeing these red candles, the shorts started piling in here. So there'll be a ton of stop losses and things in these areas too. So exercise caution here. What I can give you guys is potential areas of interest and something that is starting to look at me at the chart that is looking like it could be potentially bearish. Watch this. Okay, look for the bounce here. You can see these nice supports. So this is 0.158. Look for some action here. If we do get a little bounce and you get a rejection somewhere in that region, for me, that could trigger your head and shoulders play. Okay, that could be a sign then that we're going to get a little bit more downside. Okay, and then we could maybe start sending this thing a little bit lower. I would expect they want to come and take out this liquidity. Look at this candle over here. Look at this little wick that they sent down earlier. Big little wick there, shot straight up. Okay, 618 wick there, quite interestingly. And I would expect if they are going to send this thing higher, they first want to come and take out some liquidity. So watch out. So if there's a potential bounce here, 158, look for a bounce at 158. Let's see how that plays out. Lower down when they come and take out this candle, 155, look for a bounce here off this region. Okay, that could be a nice little area. They want to come and take out that wick and then maybe just bounce you guys higher up. And by the time it comes to that wick, I would assume there's going to be a lot of late shorters there. Okay, there's going to be a lot of late shorters trying to short on support. And what happens when you long into resistance? You often get rinsed. When you short onto support, you often get rinsed. Okay, so if you are looking for shorts, what I suggest is you want to short any pumps. Okay, you don't want to short red candles. You want to short pumps into nice little regions. So I'm going to give you a little guide here on the 15 minutes. So let's say Tron starts moving up from here. Now we're going to use this as an example. Let's say Tron starts pushing higher. You're going to look for a rejection area. So what you can do is you take your fib from the high to the low. So we're going to use this current low, where we are right now. And you're going to look for typical rejection zones, typical areas that you could short some kind of pump. So look out for a candle into the 382 fib. Okay, that is naturally an area where I look for reactions. Then the next zone, 1634, that is the 618. Look at this. Nice little horizontal tie in here in this region as well for you. So that could be a nice little zone there if you want to short Tron. So look out for those regions, 163 and 161. Okay, that could give you some kind of ticket. And if you are bullish on Tron, if you believe the degens are going to pump this thing, if you believe these things are going to fly, you looking for entries on these types of areas, okay? 0.158, you're looking for entries for longs, 0.155. Okay, those are your zones. If you're bearish bias, look for the pumps. If you are bull biased, look for dumps into nice little areas and tee up your longs. Remember, when this thing starts moving, you can add to the position and grow the size quite quickly. So just play safe. Okay, there's more outside forces here than normal. Okay, we all know there's outside forces in crypto. We all know that, but there's more here. Okay, this man literally is his own reserve. Okay, he prints his own money when he wants to. So just, what you can do is not trade Tron at all and just watch the show from the sidelines and eat some popcorn. And that's probably the safest play. I don't know if you like that idea. I'll eat some butter popcorn.
I was going to say, personally, I ain't touching it with a 10-foot pole, not even raised 10-foot pole.
There's so much speculation as to what could happen here. So you guys know what to do. I've given you the charts. I've given you the areas. Use your bias, okay, and just make sure you're practicing risk management. Okay, that's the best advice I can give you on Tron at the moment. And don't forget, take a photo of this chart. And if you hit these areas, just set some alarms and things like that, and then start looking at them. But make sure, guys, you protect yourself. You're using stops and those types of things. Now, who is ready for Matic? It's time for Matic, and Matic's been moved into my Dino coin zone, and and I think it's going back there very soon. Okay, I think we're going to try and send Matic to 0. And what is actually happening here? So Polygon aggregated. This is what they're doing. Okay, as the network upgrades from Matic to Pol, so there's a network upgrade. Okay, Pol will become the native gas token for Polygon. Is this literally all that is pumping Matic at the moment? And what did Cunning George just say? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Who says I'm touching Tron with rainfall? Cunning George, he's on a roll today.
But seriously, what's up with the likes? Hold on. What's going on with the likes? Like, seriously. I was patient. We're 30 minutes into the show.
Guys, don't upset Ray. Okay, don't upset Ray. Look at this man.
I was thinking about AVAX and raise pole and what you buy when you buy AVAX. So sorry.
Okay, don't look. He put on his soul hat for you. Okay, he got out of bed. It's still early in the morning for the man. Give the man some likes. Okay. Here's a little thread. Okay, this is what's going on with Matic, and the market seems to like it. Okay, so we know. Okay, the market seems to like Matic. And that's nice. That's lovely, because you've had 2 years of pain and suffering. If you look at the Matic performance from the last 2 years versus Solana, versus other coins, versus even Bitcoin, Matic's been absolutely rinsed. And for me, it's gone back into shitcoinery zone. And I believe maybe it's going to stay there for the near term. So I've dropped this head short in Sniper Club earlier today. It's an idea. Okay, now this merger is only going to take place on the 4th of September, okay? So we're actually a little bit early. So there could be some more Matic pumpage, okay? If the market remains bullish, there could be more Matic pumpage. So what I've done here, I've given a head short idea. And the reason this is interesting to me is because we've got a very tight monthly pivot in the way of Matic. You can see I've highlighted this. The easy algo traders, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. And we've got a very tight monthly pivot. So look at that. We just highlight that. This is this pivot in the red. And what do we know about these very tight pivots? They often react as support and resistance. Okay, and right now, if you get a monthly pivot thrown at you, that's typically going to be a nice thick resistance band that you can start playing around with. So maybe we're a little bit premature. And what I want to highlight here for you guys is this 49 region to 50 region. Okay, look out here. in this region over here for me, maybe there's going to be some kind of sniff around here for Matic. Maybe things are going to start turning over when everybody realizes nothing's really happened to Matic. Okay. And look, obviously I stand to be corrected. So hedge play here for me, and potentially send this thing lower. We'll pick our targets. It's most likely going to be a 382. It's most likely going to be a 618 lower down. So watch that, okay? This is on my watch list. I'd love to send Matic down and make some profit out of a short. So watching this one very closely. And if things do turn a little bit more bullish, we'll naturally update you as we go leading into the fourth, because I think we can't resist. We got to try. We got to try this thing. And you can see there's another reaction zone here for me at 57. Okay, that is the monthly high. That is also the 100-day moving average. And it's also a very nice cluster of horizontals. You can see there's quite a lot going on in this area. Okay, we've got some more horizontals up here. So I would expect also a bit of a fight in this region here, the 56, 57 zone, somewhere up there. So let's see how this goes. I'm expecting a fight from this monthly pivot, and we'll see how it plays out. Okay, so yeah, I'd just love to send Matic down. Okay, let's talk current trades and WIF. Okay, so I've started a position on WIF, and this is on ZoomX that I'm trading it at the moment. Remember, the links are in the description. Prime XBT, no KYC. WEX, no KYC. ZoomX, no KYC. They all do their thing. If you're looking for a new exchange, jump into the link in the show description. The stuff is all here for you guys. Just click on the description. You can see my shopping list. Even MDX Algo that I've been trading with is there for you guys. All of it is happening there for you. So if you want a piece of some of these or some of the action, you literally need an email address and a VPN. Okay, that's all you need, and then you are trading with these things. So if it's not in your area, just get a VPN. It's as simple as that. So ZoomX,
get the calculator too, guys. Make sure they get the calculator.
This is a risk reward calculator for you guys from Easy Algo. So you can calculate, if you're new to leverage trading, just use that link that Ray just dropped for you guys. If you're new to leverage trading, you can work out, do the calculations as to how much you're going to get rinsed or how much you're going to make if you are trading leverage. So use that. That could be handy, especially for the new guys. And okay, so I'm in ZoomX here, trading WIF. I've just got one entry so far. Now I'm going to show you why I've taken this thing. And this was the basic idea that I sent out earlier today for Sniper Club members. They got the setup. And essentially what we are saying here is WIF is, it's bounced. Okay, we saw the big bounce that we had a couple of days ago. Now we've broken a downtrend. Okay, and now we are looking for a bullish retest. If your bias is bullish, you typically look for bullish retests. So instead of buying the top of a green candle, instead of having FOMO and things like that, if there is going to be a move, if the move is going to continue, it typically moves back to a bullish zone. Okay, bullish zone is 382 fib, bullish zone is 618 fib, those type of regions. So if this thing's going to remain bullish, I expect it to bounce at 0.143. Okay, so that is why I've got a couple of buy orders here on WIF. So the strategy was buy zone number 1, 1.5. Then you can buy in the middle where it is now, 1.48. And then you can buy some more at 1.43. So you can ladder into your entry in case this thing starts ripping a little bit early. And then there's pretty clear invalidation because the 618 here is giving us a very big horizontal support. So if we start closing under this horizontal region, it most likely tells us we go to our next zone. Okay, that is our next area. And then after that, well, we go straight back to hell. And if we go back down there, BTC is in trouble. BTC is hurting. And these alts are most likely in pain. Okay, so if you're trading leverage, here's a little strategy. If your bias is bullish, this is how you can play it. Look for buys on that 382. Look for buys down to the 618. Manage your risk. Ladder into the trade. So try and avoid, for example, when you see a pump on WIF, buying it here. Okay, I know a lot of guys would have bought it up here thinking it's going to go higher. What happens typically? It starts pulling back and it starts pushing down into those 382s, into the 618. So just be patient. If the market's going to stay bullish, you'll get your entry. More often than not, you get your entry opportunity. You just have to wait for it. Let it come to you. And then if you are prepared to wait, so if you don't buy the green candle and the market comes back to you, you've saved yourself all that money trying to take a leverage trade at the top. All you've done is now eliminate your risk. You've bought it in bullish areas. If it doesn't bounce in that bullish area, your risk is now minimal compared to buying the top of those candles. So little strategy there for you guys. And remember, we can't say when the market is going to rip, okay? And I'm talking rip to the upside. Okay, but what we can do is plan for it. So if you are running a few trades, what I tend to do, and I was trying to explain it earlier today to some of the guys, and what I like to do is have a few trades open. Okay, some of them we're going to TP at the nice areas. Some of them we're going to raise our stops and close those positions, and others we want to try and see if we can hold this thing in case the market starts ripping, then we are ahead of the curve. So I've got a nice balance of positions that I try and manage. And, some of them come back, they round trip you, they stop you out, and others pump to your TP and you close them. But at some point, this market is going to rip. And I do not want to not be in a position when the market takes off. And I'm talking these things that you guys might not have seen if you're new here. If you guys have been here for a while, if you were here in October and you were here in March, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That market's not going to wait for you. So I just want to make sure I'm sitting in some of these positions here, and if things start firing, then we are ahead of the curve. And this is also why Bruce and I have been talking quite in depth about building these spot portfolios, because these might be great entries here in case the market starts running, right? And where's your Sol hat? Are you not a Sol fan anymore? Did you dump it?
It's looking weird. It makes me disappear.
It's making me bullish on Sol. I'm bullish on Sol.
I think he's bullish on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 now. Hold on. Bullish on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏?
Bro, I'll never be
Go
bullish on
XRP.
Yeah.
No. Keep that away from me. Okay, so that's the deal. That's why we're building portfolios. Naturally, the market can go lower. Of course it can. Okay, it can send link to $6. Okay, that's another opportunity then. But right now, for me, this is the time, building some spots and things like that. And we're going to bring Bruce back in a sec for some render action. Okay, so you get the picture. You see why I'm interested in WIF and why I think this is an interesting potential long for me. So that is that on WIF. Let's look at Floki. Okay, another one. Okay, so Floki, what did Floki do? This is Floki on the 4 hour, and same game plan here as WIF. We've broken a trend. Okay, aggressive little break yesterday, nice little move lower. Look at that candle, bang, into a nice horizontal there for us. Now, if you didn't buy the top and you sat back and you waited patiently and said, I'm going to do this, I'm not going to buy the top, I'm going to wait for a bullish retest. Well, now we are in bullish retest zone number 1. Okay, so congrats if you didn't buy the top. Now you are at 0.000191196. This is a potential area of interest for a bullish bounce. And then a little bit lower down, I've got the 618 for you. And that is multiple zeros, 1158. Okay, 1158. That is another zone of interest there for me. So potential move here on Floki. You can see it looks very similar to WIF. And naturally, pick your battles. Don't ape into everything, but manage your risk, obviously, number 1. And these are the types of areas where you expect some kind of continuation. If there's no continuation, what does that mean? It means BTC most likely has fallen over, BTC retesting new levels, and we have to sit back and start looking again for some potential entries. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, what's going on? He said, fuck me. But the show is on fire. Cunning George, you witty today. Hey, you're very witty today. I mean, I'm enjoying his humor. Okay, let's go. Brett. So I promised you guys Brett yesterday. Apologies. I forgot to give it to you. Okay, so let's talk about this thing. So Brett kind of triggered this meme move that we had. We saw Floki pump, Peppy pump, Popcat, tons of these things. But there was an upbid listing on Peppy and there was an upbid listing on Brett. Now, what happens with upbid listings? What do we know? Okay, we know upbid listings immediately pump these tokens. So upbid listings are known to be quite secretive. So it's not like anybody knows beforehand. It just gets announced. They really manage it nicely. And there's very limited insider trader there trading, from what I understand, in upbid. They're a South Korean exchange and they're very strict on how things work. And when there's an upbid listing, there's always a mega pump. And after an upbid listing, there's always a mega dump. Now, if you go and backtest this, on all these upbid listings that have happened over the last year, for example, you will see very similar results. And I just wanted to show you guys Brett. And we were talking about this one on the show. And this thing started moving organically with the market. So it was great. And started pushing higher, added. This thing absolutely fired. And what you want to look for on upbid listings, but you need to be quick, okay? Like you need to be able to do this within a few minutes of hearing about an upbid listing, okay? And you need to identify your big major rejection zones. Time and time again, these upbid listings push into exact levels, weeklies, 200-day MAs, 50 days MAs. I remember Trader Joe I think it was Trader Joe. It went straight into the 200-day MA and massive rejection afterwards. And Brett is no different. So a little bit of alpha here for you guys, okay? If you get wind of this upward listing, get that chart out early. Get out your big resistance areas, 50-day, 100-day, 200-day, weekly levels, those type of things. Look at this, 618 fib, bang. 50-day MA, bang. 100-day MA, bang. All in that area. And that was your TP zone, or that was your rejection area. So just something to watch, okay? You get these extreme pumps. And sometimes you can catch it if you are sitting in front of your PC at the right time, or you're sitting in front of your charts. You can catch these things, and then you get nice little short action there. And remember, upward listings, I mean, look at that, 25% dump. Upward listings are not the type of thing you want to hold. Okay, so if you're sitting in the token and you hear upward listing, look at your chart. You'll see a mega pump of sorts within a time frame, 15 minutes, whatever that is. Get out. Okay, don't let that thing come back and round trip you. Dad with 3 says my balls are cooling. What is going on here? Okay, we spoke about 𝗬𝗦𝗬𝗘𝗥, and Bruce is coming on next with render. Okay, we spoke about 𝗬𝗦𝗬𝗘, and I wanted to touch on curve because I think this is also a little underdog, okay? And I wanted to give you guys a weekly chart perspective here on curve, just to show you where we are potentially, okay, in this move. So here is curve. You can see we got this descending wedge, but things are looking interesting. Look at this upper trend here. Looks like a nice little target here for us for curve, 0.61. Nice little hot zone. So we've had a great start here at these lows on the trend. Now we are grinding up. What does that look like? It could easily just look like that, before it pushes higher. So, we don't want to guarantee exactly how this thing is going to go, but you can see it. This target looks like a nice little magnet. And I think 0.6, not unreasonable. Now, naturally, it's going to take BTC to remain relatively bullish here. If there are pullbacks on BTC, there can't be massive 10% dumps and things like that, because then these alts are going to get hurt. But long-term picture here for CRV, and this could be, this could take 6 to 12 weeks to play out. And 6160, that is a nice little target for me. Okay, I'm tired of hearing my own voice. Let's hear the legend's voice.
I love hearing your voice. Keep going. I'm perfectly happy.
I'm bringing your chart. I'm bringing up your chart.
All right, cool.
Okay, you're gonna have to zoom in there. And guys, listen closely. School session has started. Let's go.
So basically, render's been in the downtrend for a while. We thought we found, the last time we had talked about it, we really thought we'd found support right there. But then that black swan thing lost that level and dropped all the way down to here. And then typical for that, let me zoom in a bit.
Can you zoom in as much as possible here?
Yeah, let's do that. There we go. How's that? Okay, so we came down, pushed all the way down to what is that? Basically, level, pushed all the way down to 3.4, and like most of the tokens, recovered. And what I like about this is it really found solid support right there at about the 382 level, pushed up, rejected off of 5, pushed down, is finding clear support at 4.4 level. It's compressing, and I love this. I love this kind of slow push down and compress down to here, which is usually a signal for a break of that trend line and a push up. So I'm looking to take a trade. By the way, Solana, Cash, Rune, and Arweave look almost identical to this, very similar. So what I'm looking at is a trade that's got a nice escape valve in it, meaning that if we do break below this level, that means we're likely coming back down to fill these gaps in and want to get out as soon as possible. So the first thing I'm looking at is setting a stop right below those wicks. There, right about there. It's just below that. In other words, if we break below that, we're going to set up for a short to go down lower. But right now, what we're looking at is, I would like to catch this, reject off this trend line. And you want to be patient here, right? And catch a trade, set up the stops. You can see it. It's the stop just below there. So we're looking at about 5% if we took it now. What I'd like is just to be patient. Let this thing come down into the zone. So we're looking at about a 3.5% stop loss. So track this down a little bit. Maybe you'll push up a little bit. Patiently wait for it to come down into our zone, right? And maybe consider continue consolidating. At some point, it'll break up. Now, typically, I'll add a small position here. Don't rush into it. So, a starting position. If you get stopped out in Bitcoin and everything breaks down, you lose a little bit. Wait for it to break, retest, go a bigger position there. And what I'm doing is going to trade this in levels. Level 1 is looking for that range right there. So looking to take profit somewhere around 5, right, at that level. From there, it's got to break. And what I'm doing, by the way, is I'm opening 2 trades for every trade that I like. One trade is get in and out. So trade number 1, which would be on MEXC for me, I'm just going to try and capture this 13%, right? I'm going to also open a second trade just in case it breaks out into the next level, right? So if this trade comes up, breaks through that longer term trend line right there, breaks above that resistance level there, retests it, then I'm going to look to capture that level. Literally treating this level by level. And it's going to have to break that 50-day moving average to do so. So 2 trades in 1, start with something small, capture this 10-12% right there. If that works out, leave something open to possibly break up. If not, then we're just going to be back into this range and we'll get to do it all over again.
Banger. Now, guys, did you enjoy that? Little lesson there from the Ledge, okay? The Ledge is in Sniper Club. You can find him there. There's a link in the description of the show. Go link, okay? Sniper Club is there. Come and hang out with us. You get tons of this stuff, okay? It's not just me and Sheldon in there. This is the team, okay?
We got David, we got Simon, we have 8 moderators, and this is what we do all day long, by the way. So what we're doing in a couple minutes on YouTube.
If you like the charts, you like trading, you want to learn, there's your man. Okay, Bruce, thank you. Guys, we are out of time. Good luck. You've got the longs, you've got the short ideas, you know exactly what to do. I think you're fully catered for the next 24 hours. No more I can offer right now, so we'll see you guys tomorrow.